Okay, welcome back. Last time we started up Digimon World, and we kind of did a little bit of training. Then we went out into the forest. So, Agumon joined the city, Palmon joined the city, and Coelamon joined the city. So pretty much, our prosperity is currently at 4 out of 100. Basically, it maxes out at 100, and depending on what you add to the city, I say what you add to the city. As Digimon join the city, they'll also kind of add more. So if you get a rookie rank Digimon, that will add 1, champion 2, ultimate will be 3. And I was going to say I'm quickly going to finish off maxing out not maxing out the stats, but it was maxed out I want to say it's like 9,999 for HP and MP, and then probably 999 for the other stats. But I do want to get them all up to 100 each before I go out and do whatever else I'm going to be doing today. Because, pretty much, well, I would quite like to keep on top of that, and I think, by taking care of my Digimon pretty well, I think the better you train your Digimon and the higher its stats are, you can end up with some pretty good stuff later. However, I also need to remember to go and talk to Palmon, because since the day has ticked over, I should be able to go and get more giant meat, which means we can go ahead and get more food, and getting more food is always welcome. Okay, so I just need to get 9 points into its brain stat, and then we should be good to go. Also, I learned as a kid, yeah, okay, we now have the attack command, fantastic. Yeah, I learned as a kid that if you just kind of tell it to start the training, then immediately stop it, you don't actually lose anything for doing so. So I always just did the training that way, ever since I was a little kid. And basically the plan for today is I'm going to finish off the native forest. I think that's what it's called. Going to finish off the forest, and we're going to be doing a couple of things in the drill tunnel. Unfortunately, the drill tunnel is going to get tedious. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was a good RNG event. So according to Palmon, she harvested 5 today. So we got a larger harvest than normal. So we got 5 instead of our normal 3. I also need to keep an eye on Agumon's weight, I think, because depending on what you eat, your Digimon's weight will change, and I don't know what it needs to be at, but I know that is also a requirement for some evolutions. So let's quickly talk to Coelamon. Welcome to my shop. I'll give you a great price. I'm not good at sales, but neither is anyone else. Whilst I'm in charge of sales now, I hope we can do business. Please bring as many Digimon back with you as you can. Okay, so let's quickly buy... I'll buy 10, why not? And I'll buy 1 more small recovery, because I think I only had 4. And I saw Agumon need to go to the bathroom, so let's quickly run on over Let's quickly run on over and get Agumon his bathroom trip before we go out into the forest, because realistically, if he poops himself, that is a care mistake, and that reflects badly on me as a Digimon tamer, trainer, whatever you want to call them. I know that what is the actual term? Actually, I think the game tells you. Player. Tamer. Yeah, it's a Digimon tamer. Which makes perfect sense because the 3rd season of the anime was Digimon Tamers. I've never actually seen it. I've never actually sat and watched Digimon Tamers. I've seen a couple of episodes, but I haven't sat and watched the whole thing. I mean, I say that, but at the same time, I haven't really watched most of the original anime either. Like, I don't know, I feel like I have a weird history with the Digimon anime, because I remember the start of it. I remember they go and they fight Devimon, but looking at the episode list, that's apparently that's like the first arc, and that's like 12, 13 episodes. I thought it was like 50. I could have sworn that was like 50 episodes when I was a kid, but no, it's like 12 episodes in, and the entire show is only about 50. But yeah, with that, we take out that Madoki Betamon. I mostly just want to see how our stats were doing, and, well, we do pretty okay against Madoki Betamon. I mean, it's not exactly the most challenging of opponents, but hey, I'll take a win where I can get one. But yeah, so like, they beat Devimon in, like, episode 12 of the, episode 13 of the anime, because, so after I recorded the, the Arcade Assault episode on Digimon Rumble Arena, I then went back and started watching Digimon Adventure again, and just because I was kind of on a bit of a Digimon kick, which is also when I'm starting to record this, and yeah, I had that realization that, like, episode 1 introduces, like, the main characters and their Digimon, then episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are just like, hey, here's everyone having their thing, and I'll explain more in just a second. Okay, so, Kunemon wants us to give him some food, so we'll just give him a Digimushroom. That's good. Let's fight. So, Kunemon will join the city when we defeat him. But yeah, episode 2 through 7 is just, what's the order for them? It's Tai, Matt, Sora, then Izzy, Mimi, and Joe all kind of getting their Digimon's kind of second forms. So it's where you get Greymon, Garurumon, Birdramon, Kabuterimon, Togemon, then Ikakumon. Then there's the few episodes that lead up to Devimon, where they meet Frigimon, they meet Elecmon, and a couple of others. I think they help Leomon again, and they fight Ogamon. And then finally, TK gets Patamon to evolve into Angemon, and that's when they beat Devimon. Then there's then I vaguely remember there's the stuff with the continent of Server. I know that there's the continent of Server, there's the stuff with Waymon, and then I remember they need all the crests and stuff so they can... Oh, okay, Agumon, I need you to attack right now. No, he's gonna sit and face tank the hit. Okay, wow, he actually did sit and face tank the hit. Okay, now hopefully we can get Pepper Breath to come through in time. Hopefully we don't get hit out of this. But yeah, and then there's the stuff with the Fall or Dark Lords. I don't know, the Digimon anime is a weird thing to me because I vaguely remember it. Like, I remember the kind of plot beats for most of it, but I feel like there's a 30-episode gap that I just don't remember. But hey, we won, and Kunemon dropped an MP chip, which is pretty helpful. This isn't good. What should I do? Come to the city and work off what you ate. Okay, I'll do that. I'm an insectoid Digimon named Kunemon. Nice meeting you. Okay, so, Kunemon is another rookie-level Digimon, and he will open up a new path for us, which is going to be pretty convenient. So I'm quickly going to show it, because I don't really have any reason not to. So Kunemon will eat his way through here, and gives us access to the Digimon Bridge through the east side of File City. And personally, I think that is a nice, convenient little thing to have. However... wait, I have 3 small recoveries. I'm actually since I'm only 1 screen away, I'm quickly going to run over and buy 2 more from Coelamon. I could actually go over into the tropical jungle and get Betamon. Betamon would actually be the next thing to upgrade the store, but I'm going to do all the drill tunnel stuff first, I think. Okay, so let's buy 2 more. Okay, now... It's probably fast if I actually go this way now. I saw some delicious plants, so I decided to eat. Guess it became too breezy in the city. Also, I do quite like how all of that, like, all the kind of markings on the ground, they're all stuff that's like, oh, this is like a circuit board and stuff. That's a cool little detail. I feel like there's some kind of, like, little visual things that I kind of understand a bit better now that I've, that I have at least some form of idea and understanding of, computer parts and stuff. Like, if you ask me, like, hey, can you build a PC? Absolutely not. Never. Don't ask me for help on that. Like, genuinely, if you ever need help building a PC, never ask me. I don't know what I'm doing. And also... Oh, 10 out of 10, we just got through that fight without any real hassle, and I'm quickly going to use a floppy chip. That should restore it in time, fantastic. Basically, I was starting to run low on MP, and I know that I have another fight coming up soon that is, okay, I say it's unavoidable, but it's one that I know that I need to do to kind of get some stuff done. So, yeah, we're going to go and do that, and if I So if the game wants to work with me, this will be a very, very easy fight. However, this is Digimon World. The game loves not working with me. Also, there's a rock slide here, and basically we can't currently go to Mount Panorama. Mount Panorama is a much, much later in the game area, and if I try to go there now, I will get absolutely annihilated. Okay, so with that, we now gain access to the drill tunnel. I say gain access to it, we've had access to it this entire time, I just haven't gone over there. Now, I'm also going to fight the Goburimon that lives in the cave here, mostly because if we go down to the next screen, there's 3 of them, but there's just 1 up here. And personally, I'd much rather just fight 1 than 3, because fighting multiple things at a time in this game is a nightmare from personal experience. However, because Goburimon is a fire-based Digimon, Agumon, please attack. I need you to actually attack things. Thanks, at least it got blocked, but at least you attacked. But yeah, basically, because Goburimon has access to some fire moves, we can potentially learn a new attack when we beat it. Also, ever since I was a little kid, I always kind of loved that the little kind of like shredding paper, the kind of shredding cardboard noise is that you get, like it does there, when you get a little bit of chip damage. Also, that is one of the most Digimon World combat things I've ever seen. The enemy standing perfectly still in a kind of like, it's almost like it's glitched out, because it's not moving, it's not doing anything. Also, doing Pepper Breath here is absolutely overkill, but hey, it doesn't cost any MP, so I'll do it. And bang! That nearly would have one-shotted that thing. And that is well, that's a win. I wouldn't call it a big win, but a win is a win, you know? Okay, so it dropped some meat, and we learned Sonic Jab. That's maybe the worst move I could have possibly gotten. Sonic Jab is a move that I would categorize as less than worthless right now. It's so bad it isn't even listed here. Oh no, it is. It is listed, but it's almost like the game is hiding it in shame because it's here. And now you can play a fun little mini-game called Putting Sonic Jab On. Does it inconvenience me? The answer is it almost certainly will, so I will allow it. So I will allow it for 1 fight and 1 fight only. If it inconveniences me, it's out of here. Straight up, if it... and Agumon is just hungry, okay. So Agumon, for winning that fight, you can have this giant meat. I should have just given it the meat that I took from the Goburimon for beating it, but hey, here we are. So, it's hot. Do something. What's going on? It's too hot. I can't take it anymore. So, now we have to fight Dremojamon. Dremojamon's always been a little bit weird to me because it's totally different from another Digimon that's just called Mojamon. And because of their names, I always assumed that they were similar. But no, as I grew older, I realized, oh, it's Dremojamon because it's like a mole and it has a drill. So it's so the Dremo is drill mole, basically. Anyway, this is why this fight is simultaneously dangerous, but also pretty easy. So it has the potential to be very dangerous, but also at the same time, it's not really getting any attacks in, and I'm getting my hits in pretty clean. I think the issue is less that it's dangerous or hits hard, and more that it just has more health than anything else we've dealt with up to this point. But hey, we just need 2 more hits, and 1 more should finish it off, but will also bring us down to 0 MP. But hey, we take out Dremojamon and don't take any damage. That's a big win in my book. Because this is the first stage to getting the drill tunnel dealt with. And we actually don't get a whole lot of stuff out of that, but hey, I'll take my wins where I can get them. I got weird because of the heat. I know it's hot, but be cool, man. The more we dig, the hotter it gets. The tunnel's in a volcano. I don't think it's the only reason. Maybe there's a fire nearby. I don't got a choice. I must bear this heat and keep on digging. We'll check out the sorry, we'll check out the cause. It'd be great if the tunnel goes through. You're a nice guy. I'll hurry and dig this tunnel. Okay, so he says that, but he actually just kind of goes and stands there. I always assumed that he was the cook in here because there's the giant pot here. But no, this is just the residential area. This is where the Dromojimon eat and sleep. However, because we've now done this, we get to gain access to one of the worst parts of the entire game. Okay, I say one of the worst parts, and by that I mean one of the most tedious parts of the entire game. Which is why I am not actually going to narrate most of it. I'm probably just going to speed through it, because this bit is not fun, it's not enjoyable, but it is worth... Okay. Sorry, do you know when it'll be? Don't know, it'll take a while. That's a problem, can we help? Are you trying to steal our phone? Maybe you can carry dirt. What is it? It's dirt. It's right there. I dug up that dirt. You can carry it out and dump it. It's a hard job, so I'll pay you 500 bits for each round trip. This'll make digging go faster. I can make money, and it's good training. So we're gonna say no just for now, because Agumon said he needs to go to the bathroom, and there isn't a bathroom in here, and we don't have access to the porta potty item yet. So I need to run out of the drill tunnel, and so from here I have to go across, what, 4 screens to get here. Like, I have to basically cut across 4 screens now, not get into fights, and and I am doing this in a race against time, because if Agumon poops himself, that's on me. That reflects badly on me, and I basically get a penalty for it. Hopefully it won't happen, but I feel like I'm gonna be cutting it close. Which, this will be an issue, but I also do need to carry all of that dirt. And this takes quite a while. Like, uninterrupted, it's still like 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, Agumon, it's in line of sight. You're nearly there, buddy. He made it. Fantastic. Like, I don't know what exactly... Like, I don't know what the kind of detection radius for it is. Man, that's a weird way for me to have to describe that. But also, it's kind of the best way I can describe that. Anyway, I need to go back into the drill tunnel, and it is time. It's time to start carrying some dirt. And you do get... Okay, so it's boring, it's tedious... It's boring and it's tedious, but it's absolutely worth doing. Basically, doing this will make it go faster. So, I nearly ran into that Agumon, and that would have been pretty bad for me if I had done that, because, yeah, I have no MP left. I would have had to use an MP floppy. But right now, I'm pretty much just going to try to avoid all remaining fights. I'm trying to avoid fights, and then Agumon will sleep, and get all of his HP and MP back, and then he'll be ready to fight again if he has to. But for now, it's time to carry some dirt! Okay, so, this will take a little while, which is why I'm going to do one trip while talking, and then I'm just going to mute and speed through, because this will take a little while. You can't get into any fights while you're doing this. It is quite literally just talk to Dromojimon, pick up the dirt, run through here, run up here, run to the exit, run back, talk to Dromojimon, get paid, do it again. And just rinse and repeat that for the entire time. This takes a good while. Because you have to watch them slowly walk out, and then have to walk all the way back. It's not a great little bit of game design. And also, you can't leave the tunnel while you have the box attached. Which, you know, visibly isn't even attached to anything there. Also, so basically, if you're in a situation where your Digimon suddenly needs to poop and you don't have a porta potty and you're stuck here, bad luck. Luck on you, I guess. Thanks for your work. Here's your payment. So we get 500 bits. HP goes up by 50, and we get 5 to offense and defense. So, I am going to just, speed up, and I will be right back when this is done. Okay, so apparently because Agumon now looks tired, we should let him rest. So I guess that means I'm gonna have to take a little break from doing that, so I guess we only got one more trip. Which, to be fair, that's probably because we are getting close to the end of Agumon's in-game day, I suppose. So basically, the clock will go around like one or two more times, and then it'll be like, hey, Agumon wants to go to sleep, so... Yeah, pretty much, that's how that goes. It's an unavoidable part of the game. Also, weirdly enough, in this game, if your Digimon, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I know. I was gonna say if your Digimon falls asleep, but that isn't it. Regardless of what type of Digimon you have of pulling the dirt, like, I have Agumon right now, but even if I came back and I had Greymon, or like, something even higher, I think I can still only carry one thing at a time, which is, you know, more than just a little bit inconvenient. Also, Dragon Eye Lake is over here, and I mostly just want to do one or two things here. And by that I mean, I can't actually fish here, but I can later. That vending machine just sells you meat and... just meat and Digimushrooms, I think. My gosh, it's so expensive. Yeah, that is 300 bits for one bit of meat. So that is not worth it in the slightest, because that is an absolute highway robbery. That is absolute highway robbery. Like, one bit of meat costs you 50 at the shop. So for one bit of regular meat, you're paying about half as much as you would for a giant meat. Which obviously is pretty bad for you. Also, I don't have enough MP to actually, you know, do anything else. However, I do want to keep on top of Agumon's weight as well, because, you know, even though he might not be hungry right now, we do need him to, you know, he's a healthy growing Digimon, and now he's an eepy little guy. So let's have Agumon take a little nap, and then we can go right back to work. I do feel bad basically telling my Agumon, hey, you're gonna wake up and then you're going right back to work. Do you need to go to the bathroom, Agumon? Because if you do, now is the time to tell me. Because if I get into the drill tunnel and attach this, like, box of dirt and then you need to go, then we're gonna have to have a bit of an issue. Also, you know, okay, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna fight this Agumon again. Why? Partially because I can, but also because I know that I can get another move from it. Like, I know that it has a move that I want to potentially learn. However, the issue is, I don't know if I can learn it as Agumon. However, that's the move. It wasn't really visible because it was off screen. But that move is called Magma Bomb, and it does a lot of damage. So it's a move that I would quite like to have for later, well, you know, just ready for later. Also, this is why Spitfire is good. It comes out so much faster, and it's just better than Sonic Jab. So this is why I always prefer to have Agumon over Gabumon. Okay, so... Come on, Agumon. Just hit him one more time. One more hit. Uh-oh. Bang. No. Okay, we block the hit, and... No. No. One more hit. One more hit. One more hit, Agumon. Come on. Just hit him. Just hit him. Just hit him. I know he's trying to block, but just hit him. Okay, just hit him. There we go. 10 out of 10, thanks Agumon. I'd like to thank you for standing still and just letting me get that last hit in, because that took more than half of my MP to win that fight. And it dropped more meat. It wasn't what I wanted, but hey, I'll take that win. Also, I hope you like drill sounds, because guess what you're hearing with this? It's all drill sounds. This is why the drill tunnel is kind of miserable. Because... the fact that the music restarts on every single screen, even though you're in the same area, and that is a nightmare for me. But just the simple fact that it's just like drills, it's just drills constantly. It's just the sound of drills and jackhammers for ages. But okay, back we go, back to work. Back to work, so once again, I'll be right back. I don't think we're making this one. Like, I have to run back, drop the box. I have to run back, drop the box, and then go across like 4 screens. I do not think Agumon is making it to the bathroom on this one. And unfortunately, this is... I would call this a flaw of the game's design. Because it's like, oh, you can't just drop it and go. You have to return it and everything. Okay, so we got paid. Like, we got paid. I'm gonna do my best to get there. But obviously, I don't have anything to teleport me. I don't have a means of, you know, relieving the problem for Agumon here. And also, you know, I'm on a timer and I can't run any faster. So I'm gonna do my best, but there's no way I get there in time. I feel like I might make it to that screen. I'll make it to the right screen at best. But I don't see a world where I actually make it. I don't know how long... Like, okay, the following statement is probably gonna sound weird. But I don't know how long, like, the Digimon can hold it in, and I don't know if that is... And I don't know if it varies by Digimon. Also, if your Digimon does indeed poop itself, it will then increase the virus gauge. The virus gauge will max out... The virus gauge will max out at 16, basically. Like, if it happens 16 times, your Digimon will turn into Sukamon. And you don't really want that to happen if you can avoid it. But yeah, that was not ideal, but hey, unfortunately that's just the nature of... Sometimes that happens while you're doing the drill tunnel stuff. But, you know, to keep Agumon disciplined, I guess I just had to yell at him about that. Okay, back to carrying dirt we go, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. So I'm quickly taking a little bit of a break. I'm taking a quick little break because 1, I feel like Agumon will need the bathroom again and soon. 2, I need to go and pick up the daily giant meat because I forgot to do so. And 3, I also want to quickly draw attention to the little kind of evolving world detail of, since we've done a fair bit, Digimon is visibly further down there. Like, you're seeing visual in-world evidence of what you're doing. Because he's made it further. Like, he's now made it significantly further through, and as a result, he's now further up the tunnel, so we have to walk further to talk to him. Which is a little bit inconvenient, all things considered, but still, I think that's a cool little detail. I quite like that. Also, I love how there is that little... I don't want to call it a glitch, but I think it is. Like a little visual thing at the top that pops up there sometimes. I think it's only on a couple of screens, but I've always found that kind of interesting and thought it was kind of funny. Mostly just because I always thought when I was a kid that it was an issue with my game disc. But I'm playing this on an emulator, so evidently it's an issue in the game itself and not a like visual bug on my end. So, I mean, if nothing else, playing this on an emulator kind of helped clear up that long-held kind of doubt, I suppose. Okay, 3 more hits should take out Madoki Batamon. Okay, we got that big defender in, because honestly, Madoki Batamon might not be the most powerful of Digimon in the world, but that kind of little bubble attack hits really hard from what I recall. I think it hits for like 200-300 normally. I mean, obviously, depending on your stats, it'll hit for more or less, but still. it's still something I'd quite like to avoid whenever possible. And we got another small recovery, so that's very nice. I also, you know what, there's another one on this screen, I might as well just fight that as well. Because I know that the number of fights you participate in, along with how many moves you know, can also impact what you turn into. So I would quite like to have Agumon be, I don't know, a few fights in, because I also know the tragic, awful knowledge that if you, I don't know exactly what the requirement is, but basically, if you don't reach the, like, I don't know exactly how long you have, but if you go and don't have, if you don't meet the requirements, that's the word I was looking for, if you don't meet the requirements to evolve into any of the other, like, prerequisite Digimon, your rookie level Digimon will automatically turn into a Numemon. And honestly, I would quite like to avoid that. There is one time in the game when you need to have a Numemon, but right now is not that time. You know, while I'm here, I might as well also buy a couple more MP floppies. Mostly just because. Okay, so we just do that, and quickly we can run on over, grab some more giant meat, and then we can get back to work. Although I am now fully aware of the irony that I did all of this working on the assumption of, hey, well, I did all of this on the assumption that Agumon would have needed the bathroom by now, and he hasn't, so I guess that's a win for Agumon. He has some meat as a... Oh wow, I guess he isn't hungry. Okay. Because you can force feed your Digimon if you need to, but I'd like to avoid it if possible. Okay, Euromon basically just explains all of that. He'll learn more as you go. Basically, once you go through the jungle and reach the Great Canyon, he will then be able to tell you, like, oh, well, have you heard? There's the way across the Great Canyon. So, we won't be doing that just yet, but he does tell you about that. You know what? Because I am pretty convinced that Agumon is gonna need the bathroom again soon, I'm gonna go off towards where that is, and I'm gonna fight one of the red Vegiemon. Because red Vegiemon, I have always, like, naturally avoided. I've always avoided red Vegiemon while playing this game, ever since I was a little kid. Mostly because I remember I fought one when I was a kid and just got absolutely bodied by it. So, you know what? Maybe fighting it now, maybe it's not quite as bad as I remember. Also, that was maybe unnecessary, but I'd rather have, I'd rather be over-prepared than under. 10 out of 10, Agumon learning to defend, learning to block. We love to see our Digimon blocking in this game. I like seeing the ones I'm fighting blocking a bit less. And that is quite a bit of damage. Fortunately, I have plenty of small recoveries available. And it's entirely possible that Agumon itself, this is absolutely overkill. Like, it had 21 HP, that's why I'm not mashing all that much, but still, 475, that would have one-shot. And Madoki Betamon is out of here. The question is, does it drop a small recovery for me? It did indeed drop a small recovery, so I didn't even lose it for winning that fight. Fantastic. Right. So, Agumon, nearly there. And also, I'm still just waiting on Agumon needing to go to the bathroom here. I'm putting this off because I'm putting this off. Like, I genuinely thought I would have needed to go by now. Oh. I hadn't calculated for this. Oh, also, if your Digimon oh, there we go. Okay. And there's a red Vegiemon right there, but you know what? I'm gonna focus on getting the drill tunnel done first, I think. I'm gonna focus on getting the drill you know what? No. I'm gonna wipe out one red Vegiemon, and then I'll focus on the drill tunnel. Because this one's personal. This one's personal because I could never beat these things when I was a kid. Or at least I don't know, I think it's one of those things where, like, I could beat them, but I think I lost really badly to one once. I think I must have lost really badly to one once, and then just decided to never fight them ever again. Funnily enough, so the only time I've ever finished this game was when my neighbor kind of, cheated the game for me. So I had an invincible Digimon, and I actually ended up with a Vegemon. And then the reason I stopped playing, was as a kid, was partially because that dropped a whole bunch of money for me, okay? I say a whole bunch of money, it was 500, but still, that's enough to buy another giant meat. So yeah, I just, 10 out of 10 going at me away for a few seconds. No, I'm stuck. I got stuck on the game world for a second. Fortunately, the Digimon in here kind of follow their own paths. Since they kind of follow their own path and they don't naturally target you, which I always appreciate because honestly having something running after me in any game is something that I don't really enjoy. I don't really like being chased, I guess. Which is, maybe a little bit... There is a certain irony to the Dead by Daylight player saying, yeah, I don't like being chased. But hey, that's why I spend all game on gens. And with that terrible, terrible joke, I'm gonna go back on mute because it is time to haul some more dirt. Okay, that's Agumon tired again, so I think, what I'm gonna end up doing is ending off this episode. I will probably end up ending off this episode before I finish hauling all this dirt, because evidently Agumon is currently tired. Although I don't know how much of this I've actually sped up for. But realistically, it'll just be more of the same. You know what? No, I'll go until either A, my Digimon evolves, or B, we finish carrying all that dirt. Either way, I think would be a solid point to end at, because I know what's at the end once we, clear out all the dirt, and also having an evolution would be kind of nice to see as well. So you know what? Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way and see what we end up with. Because Agumon's, it's near the end of its day. It kind of goes to bed around about... I know, it goes to bed around about 7 PM and then wakes up a little bit after midnight. Which, kind of fair. In the meantime, I'm just gonna fight this Madoki Betamon because why not? I'll take it out in less than 6 hits, so I don't need to worry too much about it. And that is all good with me, because that means, yeah, we should be able to get through this without too much hassle. The fact that nearly hit. And, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to wait for Pepper Breath here. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for Pepper Breath. Okay, I have two choices. I can either wait for Pepper Breath. I'm gonna wait for Pepper Breath. Oh no, wait! Sonic Jab came through! Didn't do enough damage because it's Sonic Jab and it's a worthless move, but still. Honestly, I do wish there was I don't know if there is. I do wish that this game... Agumon, please just block. I do wish that this game had an item that makes the finish meter go up faster. Or better yet, just had a meter, as opposed to just, like, the letters gradually appearing. Because, I'll be totally honest, I've never really been able to tell... Like, I've never actually gauged how long it actually takes for that meter to fill. I don't know if it goes over time or what. Well, I know it goes over time, I just don't know how long it takes. But hey, we win that fight, 10 out of 10, Madoki Betamon gets dropped. Does it drop a small recovery for me? It does not, but that's not too big of a deal. However, in the meantime, I am... Okay, Agumon is now exhibiting the tired status ailment, which means it is time for me to, not be doing stuff. However, how many of these do I have? I have 3. I'm going to buy another 2. I'll buy another 2, and then I'll quickly drop some of the stuff off at the item shop as well. Not the item shop, but the item bank. That's the word I was looking for, the bank. Weird that I forgot that was a word, huh? Anyway, so let's quickly head on over, talk to Punimon, and let Agumon take a little nap. And then I think I'll end off today's episode. No, I should finish the drill tunnel. I don't know, because... Okay, so I'm kind of just winging this now, because I know that I want to get the drill tunnel done. But also, I don't know how long this episode is now. Like, I don't know how long this episode is now. Sorry, I just have to quickly double check that Agumon needed to go to the bathroom real quick. Because if Agumon needed to go to the bathroom and I just let him take a rest for an hour, I would wake up and it would just be on the floor and that'd be bad. Okay, so, back we go. He's gonna wake up, go to the bathroom, go to sleep. Fair. Fair enough. As you do. I mean, animals do that sometimes, right? Okay, so, Agumon is also nearing the end of its day, and also, let's just give him, you know, some food before he goes to bed. And because I know that he's also a healthy, growing Digimon, and we need to, you know, be keeping on top of that. We need to be taking care of our good dinosaur? Lizard? Thing? I don't know what Agumon is. I know he's meant to be a dinosaur of some description. But, like, he isn't exactly, like... He's not exactly huge. He's not, like, Greymon. Like, Greymon is a T-Rex, basically. Also, sometimes you have to just yell at your Digimon to keep it disciplined, and I always felt bad doing that. Like, it was one of those things where I always felt bad whenever I had to discipline my Digimon. But it's like, yeah, sometimes you kind of need to, because I know that the discipline is also a factor. And if your Digimon has bad discipline, it can affect various other things. I know that some Digimon will even evolve depending on their discipline. Some Digimon can die, and then their discipline can actually cause an evolution. Like, I more than likely won't be able to showcase it in this playthrough, but I know that if you have an Agumon as your partner Digimon, sorry, now you call it a Pokemon again. If you have an Agumon and then it has bad discipline and gets knocked out, there's a chance it can just turn into a Devimon. Which, to be fair, I think is a cool little thing. I think that's a kind of cool little thing. And now, back we go. Once again, I am going to mute, because we're just going to go back to carrying dirt. Okay, you know what? Since Agumon needs to sleep, I will save. Since Agumon needs to sleep, I will save and end off this episode here, or at least I'll record the end of this episode. And so I'll do this as the end of the episode, then I'll probably just carry the rest of the dirt at, like, in between episodes or something. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to save and end off today's episode here. So as always, feel free to leave a comment and click any buttons down below if you feel so inclined, and I will be back next time with more Digimon World. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.